Hello there once again. So today's episode is going to be episode 13, I believe, of my makeup declutter series. And today it is the second part of the palette declutter or the eyeshadow palette declutter. If you haven't seen part 1, then make sure you check that out where I declutter some of like the smaller palettes in size, except for that one. I'll explain that later. But if you want to see which ones I'm keeping and which ones I'm giving away out of these, then just keep on watching. And I warn you, I already know that it's not going to be too many that I get rid of, but just keep on watching. Okay, so starting over here, this is the Skylark palette by Elle and Blair Fowler. If you are from the OG YouTube days, then you know the Fowler sisters, and at one point they launched a makeup line, and this palette was part of like the makeup line along with like some lip things and I think nail polish. And this palette, I bought it like way back then, and this is actually really nice, and the colors are so beautiful. I honestly don't understand why they used to get so much hate, but I always like them, and I do like this palette, and it's also something that you can never get again, so I choose to keep it. And also, as you can see, it was used a lot, so I can't really like give it to anybody anyway because it looks pretty used. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. Then we have here these two, and these are from Makeup Revolution. If you don't know about Makeup Revolution, it is like a drugstore brand, and it used to be, I think, only in Europe, but now they sell it at Ulta, and I don't know where else, but I bought these two at Ulta. And I have the, what is this, Mermaids Forever palette, and then the Affirmation palette. This is what they look like. They have a really nice big mirror, but this is what the Affirmation palette looks like. And then this is what the Mermaids Forever looks like. This one is so beautiful. As you can see, it has really nice fun shades. But I'm going to go ahead and declutter these two because I just don't use them that often. I did get them for free, so like don't worry that I'm like wasting my money for no reason. In fact, the Mermaids Forever one I used like one time, and it was maybe like 2 or 3 shades and then never again. I just don't reach for them that often. As you can see, I have plenty of eyeshadow, and these are 2 palettes that I just tend to overlook. And since they are like almost new, then I'd rather like just get rid of them instead of like continue to use them and then get rid of them anyway in the future. You know what I mean? So these 2 are going away. Then here I have this palette from A2O, and this is a brand that is sold at Shop Miss A. If you know about Shop Miss A, they have like a bunch of dollar things, but they also have like a little more expensive things now. But this is like an empty palette, and I use it for my ColourPop singles, and they are right here. These shadows are from the 2 I Love Sarai palettes, and then like a few other ones that I just bought like loose. I don't have any other ColourPop singles. And then I have these like ColourPop face powders down here, which we already decluttered. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. So next we have these 2 Big Z palettes, and this is where I keep all of my Makeup Geek shadows. And the reason why I left this little palette for the big palette declutter is because this is basically part of this. So whenever I travel, I just take some of these shadows and put them in here. So this is like what I took the last time that I traveled, and these are actually some of my favorites in here. So this is super handy. I got this in a BoxyCharm, as you can see, and I just love this so much. But they do sell this like outside of BoxyCharm if you are interested. But I'm going to keep all of my Makeup Geek shadows for now. I know that there's a few in here that I don't use, but honestly I can't like sit here and go through like single shadows and declutter them right now. So for now, I'll just say that I'm keeping all of my Makeup Geek shadows. Then here I have the only MAC eyeshadow palettes that I own, and these are the only MAC eyeshadows that I own. Like I don't have any other singles or anything like that. This is a beautiful palette. This is the Warm Neutral palette, and I got this one at Macy's, but I know that they have like a Nordstrom and a few other places, but I'm going to keep this one. Like I said, it's the only MAC eyeshadows that I have. So, and they are pretty. They're neutral. They're pretty neutral, but I do enjoy my neutrals, and so I'm going to keep this one. I did warn you that I'm not getting rid of many. So next I have here my Ultra Pro palette, and this I got at Gen Beauty, I believe. So these are not Ultra. These are my Inglot eyeshadows. I'm going to go ahead and declutter the offer ones just because I didn't really think they were that great. And also I bought them like exactly as is, and there's no matte eyeshadows in here. Of course, I could always like go and buy some mattes and include them in this palette, but I just wasn't that impressed with these, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of them. But I am keeping my Inglot singles, and I'm putting these in the ColourPop white one that I showed you before. Next I have here this beauty. This is from Makeup Forever, and this is the 15 Artist Shadow Palette. These Makeup Forever shadows are incredible, and just look at how beautiful this selection is. This was a little bit of a splurge for me, but I do not regret it one bit because these are gorgeous, and these are shades that are different. You know, like it's not just another neutral palette. I don't even have like matte eyeshadows in here, but I do not mind at all because these are just like accent shades, and I can also like pop them out with tweezers if I ever needed to, and just like exchange them and anything like that. So I'm going to keep this one. Next I have here my Tarte's Pro palette, and this palette is pretty beautiful. As you can see, I always enjoy the Tarte eyeshadows, and this is beautiful. I have to say the duochromes never like impressed me that much, but the mattes are pretty good. They're super similar to like their Tartelette palettes and all of that. So, and I do have pretty like different shades here from the Tartelette one that I kept. If you saw my last video, you know what I'm talking about. So I am going to keep this one for now. Okay, so then we have here from BH Cosmetics the Carly Bible palette. This is a beautiful palette. It is neutral, but these shades impressed me so much when I first got it. It's something that I would have never bought for myself. It was actually a gift from a subscriber, which I appreciate so much. And I fell in love with this palette when I got it from her. And I'm going to keep this one because it is beautiful. It impressed me so much to be an affordable palette, and because clearly it's a gift, so I would like never get rid of it. Then I have here from e.l.f. This doesn't even have a name, and this is actually brand new. I got it over the holidays at an event. It's a little scratched, I'm not sure why, but I got this at an event over the holidays, and I have never used it. It is a brand new, and the shades in here are beautiful. You have a lot of neutrals, but then you have some pops of color right here. It also brings a brush. And oh my gosh, I just dropped the brush. I was just gonna say that I feel like giving this away to one of you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wash that brush before I put it back in here, but I'm going to declutter this one. It's brand new, and there's no point in me starting to use it now. I should just give it away, you know what I mean? Then I have my Lorac Mega Pro palettes in here. I love these so much. The quality in the Lorac palettes, I said this in the last video, it is so good, and they're so overlooked and just ignored for no reason at all because they are amazing. As you can see, I have an amazing color selection in here, and then with this one too. So I said this in the last video, but I enjoy using these for freelancing, and because of that I'm going to keep them. I use these two along with the two Lorac Pro like regular size, the 1 and the 2. These are also 1 and 2, I believe. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and keep these two because I love them so much. Then I have here this beauty. So wow, this is another like OG YouTube Days palette. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that this was one of the first like brand and YouTuber collaborations. So this is from Sigma, and it was a collaboration with Dulce Candy, From Head to Toe, MAC MC40, Makeup by Tiffany D, Prelude, Sparkage, and Xtiner. There's a few names in there that I don't even know who they are, to be completely honest, but I bought this because of Tiffany D. I used to be obsessed with her channel and also with Dulce Candy, and this is so beautiful. Like, just look at these shades. It is so pretty. These shades are just amazing. And then you have some blushes here and also like a little bit of a highlighter in here. And I remember buying this and just feeling so fancy and just, it was so cool. So I'm never getting rid of this. This is another like OG YouTube item. So, and it's amazing. I mean, this palette is amazing. These shadows are just like, look at that. Like, look at that. They are amazing. So yeah, I'm for sure keeping this. So over here I have from Morphe, this is the Kathleen Lights palette. I love Kathleen. She is at the moment my favorite YouTuber. She is amazing. She's so humble. She's so down to earth. And this palette is beautiful. So I am keeping this for sure. And I think I only have 3 Morphe palettes. Yeah, so I think I can justify it and keep it. Then I have here this one, and I'm going to pull this one from this side too because these are both from Pure Cosmetics, and this is the Soiree Diaries. So I don't know if you can see that, but the mirror in here is completely shattered. It came like that in my BoxyCharm, and I covered it with like some plastic to make sure that no glass comes off, but it is broken, and because of that I don't reach for it that often. But I do like this palette. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I am personally getting rid of it because the broken glass kind of freaks me out. But I do recommend it. It is nice as opposed to this one in collaboration with BoxyCharm. This palette, I was so excited for it when I saw it in the sneak peeks. It has beautiful shades. It has like a ton of peachy, warm shades, and then you have 2 pops of color down here, and I was just so excited for this, but I was so disappointed when I used it. I actually didn't even post a video. I filmed like a whole thing with it, and then I didn't even post it. I just did not like this like at all. So I used it that one time and then never again, so I am getting rid of this. Then here I have from Ciate the Pretty Fun and Fearless palette. Oh, you know what? I didn't even realize when I did the last video, I had another mini Ciate palette, and I mentioned that I didn't have any more from Ciate, and I now realize I was completely lying because I have this one too. So I think I'm gonna get rid of that mini one, but that's besides the point. This I am keeping. I love this so much. This is in collaboration with Chloe Morello, which, to be honest, I'm not even like that big of a fan of her. I have nothing against her. I just don't know her that well. You know what I mean? But this palette is beautiful. It is so pretty, and it's so nice, such a good quality. I actually got to meet Charlotte, which is the founder of Ciate, at a Gen Beauty, and she's so nice. And I told her, listen, I fell in love with your products because of this palette, and I was not lying at all. This is so pretty, and I love it, and I am keeping it. Then here, I guess I'll talk about all of these at the same time. These are all of my BH Cosmetics big palettes, and I have here the Smoky Eyes palette, the Foil Eyes palette, the Foil Eyes 2 palette, the Neutral Eyes palette, and then the Modern Mattes palette. I'm going to like lift them up so you can see the shades a little better. This one is like super beat up because I use this one so often whenever I do like a look with more like vibrant colors. I mean, now I have other palettes with like bright shadows, but I didn't. So like whenever I want like a navy or a purple or a red, I always run to this one, and I love it a lot, so I am keeping this one. Then these 2 foil eyeshadow palettes, if you can believe it, I have not even touched them. I bought them months ago and I have not used them, but to be honest, I do like the shades in this one way better, so I am getting rid of this one, the Foil Eyes 2, and I'm keeping the Foil Eyes 1. And then over here I have the Neutral Eyes and then the Modern Matte, which this one I think I also haven't used. I mean, I know, shame on me, but this one has beautiful bright colorful shades, so I am keeping this one. And then this one is a good palette. I did use it quite a few times and I do like it, but as you can see, it's a lot of neutrals that I have in so many other ones, so I think I am giving this one up. It's so good though. I do recommend this one, but I have to give it up. And then lastly in here I have my Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, my Morphe Jaclyn Favorites palette, and then this one from Crown Brush. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I am keeping these two. I have to just come out and say it, but I do like these palettes so much. Here we go, so you can just see the whole selection. I love these like a lot. I have to say I use this one way more than this one, but it kind of looks like I did use it a lot when I look at it up close. But I am keeping both. I do love Jaclyn. I know that there's like a lot of drama around her right now, but I do like her and I still want to support her, so I am keeping these two, and this one is like really, really, really good. This one is good, but this one is like really good. So I am going to go ahead and keep both of these. And then lastly, I have here from Crown Brush the Rose Gold eyeshadow palette. I got this at a Gen Beauty event, and just look at these shades. I know that it may seem like another neutral warm palette, but first of all, I got it super cheap because it was like at an event. Second of all, these shadows are amazing and the colors are so pretty, and I just can't give it up right now. I feel like at one point I am going to end up getting rid of it, maybe for the next declutter, but right now I'm gonna keep it because I do love it like a lot. Okay, so this is the result of my declutter. In here we have 19 palettes. I'm not counting this one because this isn't a palette itself. It's just an extension of the other two. But here there are 19 and here there are 8. And I just decided I really don't need to keep this one because I do like it, but I just don't reach for it that often. So I'm moving this one to the declutter side, and that makes these 9 and these 18, which makes this exactly 30% that I am getting rid of, which again I'm super proud of. I thought I was going to do worse than this, but I'm very proud of this declutter. If you saw the last one, you know that I got rid of 32% of my collection, which makes the entire collection, if I'm not mistaken, I'm getting rid of 30% of my entire eyeshadow palette collection. So super proud of this. If you enjoyed this declutter, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't already. What are you waiting for? I appreciate it. It helps me and it helps my channel if you give this video a thumbs up. And also leave me a comment down below. Tell me if you're offended by any of the ones that I get rid of because you're so obsessed with them, and tell me if I'm right to keep all of these or if I'm just like a hoarder. So anyway, let me know. And again, thank you so much for watching. Bye.